Joining us now, Rhode Island Governor Gina Raimondo. Her state has 3 cases of coronavirus. Governor, weigh in.
Good morning. Good morning. Look, it's real, and as someone who is focused on this, I would say, you know, we have to protect people. We have to be incredibly focused on containment, which is what I am focused on right now. But we shouldn't be panicking. I mean, the risk to the average Rhode Islander at this point is still low, very low. And so what it means is those of us who are on the front lines and those in Washington, we have to stay level-headed, but we have to take action. You know, as I'm listening here to what's happening in the stock market, we need to act. Later today, I'll be announcing emergency regulations to make sure that service workers and all workers can access paid sick leave, temporary disability insurance, unemployment insurance, and the federal government needs to do the same thing. We do have arrows in our quiver to blunt the economic impact here, and it's time to take action.
Governor, you said the coronavirus numbers are changing constantly. In your state, you've also said that we need to have test centers in not traditional hospital settings. Explain.
So what we're urging people now is if you feel sick or if you've been exposed to somebody with corona, we do not want you to go into the doctor's office or the emergency room. What we want you to do is pick up the phone. And so we have set up a hotline, which is staffed 24/7 by medical professionals. We want you to pick up the phone, and then you will be triaged into a safe place where you could be tested. And so we have set up throughout our state a number of facilities. I'm using the National Guard here to set up facilities, which are in many cases tents. You can drive in with your car, you can be tested, and then drive out and stay in your car until you have the results. Because what we're trying to do is keep our frontline medical professionals safe. And what I'm most worried about, of course, is having dozens or hundreds of healthcare workers in quarantine. So we're asking folks, pick up the phone so that we can keep our frontline healthcare workers safe and healthy.
How do you balance that? The paramount concern of being safe. What if those precautions tip us into more unsafe situations? I want to talk about closing schools. Closing schools isn't just like a snow day. There are thousands of kids who are in school from 7 to 5, reliant on school to get the one healthy meal they can a day. If schools are suddenly closing, how do you take care of all of those kids?
Yes. So I do want to emphasize, at least here in Rhode Island, we have been preparing for this for weeks or a month. We have plans in place, assuming a school is closed, many schools are closed. Already in Rhode Island, I have hundreds of people in quarantine now. We have 3 tested positive. We've tested dozens more over the weekend. We have had to close a school. Just over the weekend, I closed a daycare center. So what it means is constant collaboration, constant communication, and drawing on resources that are necessary. I also want to say the federal government needs to step up. You talk about closing a child care center, as I just did over the weekend. That means many parents are in quarantine now for 2 weeks, for 14 days. That means they ought to be able to collect unemployment, sick leave. You know, at a bare minimum, we need federal paid sick leave. 3 years ago in Rhode Island, I pushed through 5 days of sick leave for every Rhode Islander. That has to happen federally.
Do you have all the test kits you need? President Trump said everybody can have them.
At this point, we do. At this point, I'm much more focused on getting more personal protective equipment. We need, the president and the vice president and federal delegations have to get the manufacture of PPE increased so every healthcare worker can be protected.
Governor, thank you for joining me. I appreciate your time this morning.